everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Nicole and this is Let Knit Be So. This is my little creative part of the YouTubes where I talk about all things sewing, knitting, crafting, general creativity and a bit of life stuff as well. Today I am sharing with you my Make 9 plans. I feel like Make 9 has been going for so long now that I don't know where its origins are, who started it. I don't remember. But essentially, if you've never heard of Make 9, it's basically coming up with 9 plans for your sewing or knitting or whatever craft you want to encompass in your Make 9 for the upcoming year. And I think, as it's evolved, different people have maybe had slightly different takes on it. Some people are always very set in it's 9 specific patterns they want to make, and others have maybe gone for a mixture of themes or a particular type of garment, but not necessarily defining the exact pattern that you think you're going to make during the year. So mine is more along those lines. So some of them have either a pattern in mind or maybe some patterns in mind. Some of them I have fabric for, some of them I don't, and a few are more a theme or a vibe, but not necessarily having actually nailed down at the moment the exact pattern that I might use to fit that. I also have some what I call not New Year's resolutions, but more aspirations for the coming year. Some of them are non-crafty related and others are, so I'll also share those at the end because I think it links in quite nicely with the things that I've put on my Make 9 in terms of what I want to get out of this year sewing wise and one thing and another. So yeah, I'm going to include those at the end as well, and hopefully that's interesting. Got myself a brand new notebook, which of course, as is standard, matches my colour theme, because I know there's obviously so many things, tech-wise that people use to keep track of their making, but there's something about having a notebook, having a brand new notebook, especially to kick off a year, and I really like writing things down. I use the notes app on my phone and stuff for some things. That's quite useful, for mundane stuff like putting your food shopping list on, so you can take it with you more easily when you go to the supermarket. But yeah, there's just something about the act of writing it down that helps me remember stuff. Doing it in a more tech way doesn't necessarily feel the same. So yeah, I got my brand new notebook, and yeah, the first pages in it are my Make 9 and my aspirations for the coming year. So let's crack on, shall we? Just quickly, I have worn this before in other videos, but today I'm wearing a Grain Line Linden sweatshirt. So it's a colour blocked one in some grey French terry and some fun. They do have a head, I promise. Look, there is one with a head. Leopardy tropical fabric. I've also got my stripy plantain tee on by Dear Doe underneath it. I feel like I'm about to read you a story now. I've opened the notebook we're on Jack and Ori. The first thing on my Make 9 is a smart long wool coat. So I did talk in my autumn plans video last year about coat making, which I have done. I have made a wool coat. I made one I went to an actual class at Sew Over It quite a long time ago. It's definitely pre-COVID. We did a coat making class when Sew Over It still had physical shops in London that did in-person classes. But yeah, I think that was the last time I made a wool coat, and it wasn't any shade against the coat I made. I did like it, I did wear it. But yeah, it was quite fitted, and yeah, it became too small, so that's the reason why I don't have it anymore. A long and what I would call a smart, winter coat, and by that I mean, if I think of you know, my coats that I've got right now. Like I couldn't wear them to, you know, if someone, not that anyone's likely to, but if someone invited me to a cocktail party or even a relatively fancy birthday party, like I would feel odd rocking up in, you know, my nice dress and then with my parka over the top. Not that, you know, you'd be wearing it inside, you know, once you got to wherever you were going, but yeah, they just don't fit that criteria of, yeah, where you might need to be smart and keeping a coat on for a while. So yeah, that's the sort of thing that I would, you know, again, I think it's something you know, sewing wise, obviously it's a time investment, and if it's in wool, you know, it's always going to be that bit more expensive. And when it comes to like fabric, even if you're going for a more affordable retailer in terms of where you're getting your fabric from. But I think, you know, it's something that you will, you know, if you pick the right pattern and you pick the right colour and style, it's something that you will just keep wearing and will keep going, you know, year after year. So I don't have any fabric. Like I said, I think this is the sort of thing where you really need to know exactly what you want to make before you invest that amount of money in the fabric and exactly how much you need. But a pattern designer that seems to be doing a lot of good coat patterns is Bella Loves Patterns. And the Traveller coat is one I've currently got my eye on, which I'll pop pictures here if I'm talking about stuff that I don't physically have to show you. Yeah, it's just a nice, yeah, what I would consider a nice, smart, long coat. So yeah, that is my first pan. It's probably going to wait until probably, you know, end of summer next year. I don't think I'm going to start it now unless I see some, you know, nice wool fabric discounted if people are trying to get rid of winter fabrics. But yeah, I think that one is going to be, yeah, an end of summer project to have ready for, you know, when it gets cold enough to wear that kind of coat. Item number 2 on the list is what I have called a leather look smart handbag. So there's a theme with like being smart already. That's not the whole makenine, don't worry. But yeah, if you've been watching my other videos, you'll have seen that I've made several bags over the past 6 months. But they've all tended to be more like casual style bags. So I made the oxbow tote. I also made my mini making backpack to take to the football with me, and a few other bits and pieces as well. So yeah, I've made bags, but they've all been pretty casual. And yeah, I don't have anything that, you know, that I would consider like a smart handbag. And I feel like just about grown up enough now, I'm 40, that I should have at least one of those. And so the pattern that I have in mind is the lavender and twine Haraeth bag, which I do have the pattern for. I have printed it out, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got the hardware. I do need to check because I think as other bags have like hopped up the priority list, I might have used some of the hardware, so I do need to double check. And I have some faux leather. So this is the Emmeline bags, like Mora faux leather that I got from So Hot. And yeah, I've got a couple of colours. I've got this colour, I've got a colour which is, you know, the same as all of my things as well. But yeah, I've got this dark purple, which is really nice. So yeah, that is on my list. Yeah, a bag, at least one. I mean, I have some other patterns. I've bought a few from Aura Rosa patterns recently. Some of like smaller bags. So I do want to add more variety to my bag selection to give me options to go with different outfits. Item number 3 is something that I have talked about previously making. It is a denim Pippi pinafore. If you've heard me talk about that previously, that pattern, it's a Jennifer Lauren handmade pattern, and it's my favourite pinafore pattern that I have tried sewing. And I did used to have a denim one. That was the very first one I ever made, but yeah, essentially I wore it to death basically until it was coming apart. So I definitely need long overdue a denim one, and I want to make it with I'll pop in a picture of the inspiration, but essentially I saw some dungarees, so it's dungarees rather than a pinafore, that had like ruffles in the strap of the bib, and I think I want to give that a go of adding to the pippy. It might look terrible, but we will see. But yeah, it's just something that I want to try, and I think it's something that, you know, if I don't like it, then I can easily take the ruffle out and then just have it plain. But yeah, that is going to happen, and hopefully that will happen relatively soon, because, you know, those pinafores are very versatile and can be worn, you know, all the way through all the seasons as far as I'm concerned, unless it's like ridiculously hot. So yes, I'm hoping that one is gonna be a relatively soon make. Item number 4 is some smart. I've got, well, use the word smart again. The word smart is back. Yeah, some smart cotton pajamas. So my like general go-to pajama pattern is the Tilly and the Buttons Juno pajamas, which is a jersey pattern, and then just pairing it with any t-shirt that I've got available. I've also made the Megan Nielsen Jara and some Stella joggers as like a sort of thicker ponte weight fabric pajama set for when it's, you know, really getting cold. Some fancier ones. I feel like probably they're more of a like spring vibe, just because I feel like the cotton is maybe not as warm. I don't know whether that's my just my perception. I feel like you know, if you've got like a wide legged cotton trouser, you've got sort of, you know, the air gets up there, right? I don't know. But yeah, so they might be more of a like a spring vibe. But yeah. So something like the Closet Core Carolyn pajamas, I feel like is a very well-known pattern in that kind of style, and that has the option of piping, which is something, well, I've done once very badly on a cushion, so I would like to get better at that. So yeah, I think I would like to try some piping in that, and yeah, improve my skills in that regard. Again, I don't necessarily have a set fabric in mind, but I do have several of the Liberty cotton lawns that were a collaboration with Bridgerton when the recent series of that launched last year. One of which is this one, which I feel like feels kind of pajama-y because it's like stripes and the florals. So I've got like a couple of these that I haven't done anything with. So yeah, this I think would make some really nice spring pajamas. And yeah, just something a bit different to my usual pajamas. You know, just to feel a bit fancier sometimes, because why not? Number 5, I think, is going to be another one that happens fairly soon, because I have the pattern and I definitely have some fabrics, but I've not decided totally which one yet. And that is the Tilly and the Buttons Marnie blouse. So I really want to try. I've never done pin tucks before, so one of the options has those, the pin tucks that go at the front that you then like stitch to go in different directions. And yeah, I think that is it's just a pattern that I've wanted to make for a long time and only relatively recently bought the pattern. And I feel like with makenine, you don't want to have everything being like big deal things, you know, you want some like easy wins, and I think, you know, this will be an easy win for me to make this at least once. Like, I'm envisaging that, you know, assuming that I like it and it fits okay, that I want to make more. But yeah, I think that will be a good addition to my wardrobe, and yeah, give me I'll make at least one thing on the makenine list. I guess the same could be said for number 6 that I put on this list, which is to make a sweatshirt dress. And I think now I have decided, because I had been debating in some of my Friday sews videos, hacking the linden to lengthen it, and one thing or another, but I was watching the Live at 5 that Jenny Stitches does a few weeks ago, and she was wearing a Christmassy Billy sweatshirt. I'm not sure if it was just a jumper or whether it was the full dress, because you could only see her like from the shoulders sort of upwards. But it just looked really nice, so I've bought that pattern. I've had it printed. I'm still waiting for it to arrive. Hopefully it will come maybe on Monday, I think, now. But yeah, I think, yeah, it's something that, you know, obviously I live in the UK, like, it's still, if I make it now, it's still going to get worn for at least another 3-4 months before it starts to get too warm for a sweatshirt dress. So I think, yeah, it is something that I want to get made up quite quickly, yeah, as soon as that pattern comes. And I have shown the fabric relatively recently, but just to reiterate, this is the fabric that I'm going to use. So yeah, it's a French terry that I got from Sarah at Simple Life Fabrics, and I got, yeah, 2 meters of this to make a jumper dress. Item number 5 is not really a singular item, it's actually a pattern designer that I want to try some of their patterns because I haven't yet, and that is Maison Fauve, which was not really a pattern company that I had seen much, but having watched lots of Cara from So So Mad, her videos, yeah, I really want to try some of their patterns. Particularly interested in like the blouses, because that is something that I would like more of in my wardrobe. So I really like the Tempête one, which has got all of the lovely like draping, and there's a few others that they have quite a lot of their patterns that can be the blouses or dresses. There's also that sweatshirt that was recently released, which I think is called like the Ricasse. I don't know if that's right or not, but yeah, particularly I think the blouses, because yeah, that is just something that I really want to add more of to my wardrobe, to balance out all of the jersey tops that are in there. So yes, I want to try some Maison Fauve patterns. We're almost at the end now of the Make 9. So number 8 is woven dresses. So yeah, I feel like the dress portion of my wardrobe has, yeah, had one of those situations, I think, where I had some, and then you know, I've had ones in my wardrobe for a long time that are then, you know, they don't fit anymore. Like I've got a shirt dress that I'm still keeping hold of that, yeah, it buttons up, but only just, you know, it's like properly, you know, gaping, like you would be scared that one of the buttons would make a break for freedom. So yeah, I think I need to up my woven dress game in the wardrobe to, yeah, give me some options. So I've got a couple of ones that are on my radar that I have the pattern for and I haven't made up yet. So one of those is a recent purchase, which is the Valerie dress from Forget Me Not Patterns, which is like a raglan style woven dress. But also the other one that I keep saying I'm going to make is the Friday Pattern Company Davenport dress. So those are just 2, but there are plenty of others out there. But yeah, that is something that I really want to get made up. Just as an example of some of the fabrics, so I've got this viscose twill that I bought from the Mersey. That, yeah, I've got 2 meters of this, and I really would love a dress out of it. I think I did originally buy it for a skirt, but I think actually having received it and really loving it, I think I want a dress. So yeah, that is my plan for item number 8 is, yeah, woven dresses. And then my final item is probably the most vague on here, because I've literally only got one word next to number 9, and it just says Occasionwear. And yeah, I think that is another gap that there is in my wardrobe, as was sort of highlighted by me making my festive party dress at the end of last year, is that, yeah, I just don't have a lot or any really occasion wear items in my wardrobe. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it in my aspirations bit next, but yeah, I would like to make at least one item that you could consider occasion wear. So yeah, something that bit smarter. You know, whether that is, like, in all likelihood it's probably a dress for me, because I'm not a jumpsuit person, and yeah, I'm also not really a trousers person, but I feel like it's probably a dress of some description. So yeah, that I realise is quite vague. I'm hoping that as we go through the year I'll, you know, flesh that out a bit more, but yeah, it is something that I really would like to make, particularly as I've, you know, done a lot of jersey sewing, and obviously occasion wear feels like more of a woven fabric, and, you know, getting into a lot of fitting and stuff. So that is my Make 9 list. Hopefully that's interesting, and yeah, we'll see this time next year where I have got to with it and how many of these I've actually managed to pull off. Now I've got, yeah, all of this here is my, what I'm calling aspirations. So it's like things I want to like consider, things I want to be important for me this year, that will then hopefully like guide what I am creating, so that I'm not just doing it for the sake of doing it, that I'm thinking about, yeah, what I actually want to make. So what have we got here? So first things first, I need to review my wardrobe. So I'm going to make a video about that, having a look at what is in my wardrobe. And yeah, I've already spoken a little bit about some things that I want to make, but yeah, thinking about what are the gaps, what are the things that I wear all the time, what are the things that I have that I don't wear, and why am I not wearing them? Is it because I don't have, you know, something that goes with it, if it's like a separate, or is it that it doesn't fit properly, or is it just that I actually don't like that style of item? So yeah, that's going to be like a key starting point. That will probably be next week's non-Friday Sews video. The next thing I've got is being prepared for different occasions and events without needing to panic buy, and I'm including not just clothing in that, but also like shoes and accessories. And as I mentioned when I talked about making occasion wear, I think, yeah, that's something, yeah, that I want to be mindful of, you know, having stuff in my wardrobe where, you know, within reason, if I was invited to something, I wouldn't be going, oh no, I've got nothing that fits that, I'm going to have to, you know, and the event is next week, I have no time to make anything, and I'm going to have to panic buy something that maybe I don't like 100% love, but like needs must. Like I've done a bit of that over the past few years, and I think, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I want to have my wardrobe set up in a way that, you know, I'm not someone who worries about wearing the same thing multiple times, particularly when it comes to like fancy things. So yeah, I think that's what I want to achieve. And yeah, again, the same thing with like accessories. Obviously I talked about making a smart bag, and adding some more bags to my collection as well. And yeah, thinking about things like shoes. Like I don't have a lot of shoes, and I have even less shoes that I actually wear on a regular basis. So yeah, thinking about, yeah, what I want to wear, and then thinking about what goes with that, so that I have options that will always fit with the style of the things I like to make. So, you know, shoes that will go with multiple things. Yeah, I don't want to have a large shoe collection, but I want what I do have to work well with my wardrobe. The next thing on my list is balancing patterns and prints with plains and basics. And this is something that, yeah, I really struggle with, because I just love print so much, that I tend to forget that, you know, you can't, well, I mean, you can, but I would feel odd wearing like some of my print tops with patterned skirts and things. So yeah, trying to be mindful about, you know, yeah, you can have all of the prints, but sometimes you do need plains to go with them. And yeah, I think I just need to achieve a little bit of more balance in that, and having a little bit more variety in that, you know, the plain isn't just a pair of jeans. Like having a little bit more in that regard. The next thing here is keeping Stash Hub up to date. So I do have Stash Hub. I did, you know, I was involved in like the testing of Stash Hub when it was very first coming up. I got involved in that. But yeah, I just don't think I've used it to anywhere near its full potential. And I have been, over the past couple of evenings, been going through my sewing patterns, and well, I sectioned off a whole bunch that I'm gonna sell on Vinted that I know I'm not gonna make. But yeah, I've been adding patterns to my Stash Hub so that I have an easy way of finding what I have. Because obviously it's a lot harder to do when you've got, you know, PDF patterns printed off in folders, and then paper patterns. These are in the baskets up here. So yeah, I really want to get Stash Hub up to date and then like maintain it so it's a really good resource for me. The next thing is improving fitting for woven patterns. So as I mentioned, I love sewing with jersey, and one of the reasons I love it is because it's a lot more forgiving when it comes to fit. And obviously with my festive dress pattern, I had got another fabric in mind, and then the fitting part of it just scared me too much to cut into my, you know, nice fabric. So yeah, it's definitely something that I want to get better at. Considering maybe finding a class, maybe like something like a bodice block, that kind of thing, because I think that's where I probably need the most help. I mean, probably trousers also, but yeah, definitely I feel like knowing what adjustments to make on a bodice, particularly when you've got darts and stuff, is something that I am not very experienced with, and I've tended to be like, made a woven pattern, been like, well, it's close enough, or just been like, oh no, it's terrible, and then just, you know, not gone back to the pattern, just gone, well, it was terrible. So yeah, maybe looking into going to a class to get some more support with that, but yeah, I would like to get better at fitting woven things. The next thing I've got is thinking more about a professional wardrobe without losing the fun or my own sense of style. So I mentioned in my Friday sews that I'm starting some slightly new work, where I'm going into a more research field, and whilst my work is generally, you know, when we do go into the office, the dress code is very much, you know, casual. The only real rules are no ripped jeans, which I don't necessarily think anyone is particularly picking up on, thinking back to summer gone by. But technically I think it is no ripped jeans, and also like if you've got like a t-shirt or a jumper with like slogans or logos on, that they're not anything rude or offensive or anything like that, you know, general like common decency rules you would think, but you know, but yeah, it's not a fancy workplace. Obviously there would be the expectation that if you were meeting someone from outside the organisation or doing something, you know, outward facing, that, you know, you might dress a bit smarter, but generally speaking it's pretty casual. But yeah, I feel like, again, now I'm 40, I feel like, yeah, I want to, yeah, think about how I present myself professionally, without, you know, like, I'm not a corporate girly. I can't be in, you know, plain blazers and pencil skirts, like that isn't me. So yeah, I want to find a way of doing it that still keeps my sense of personal style, and makes me happy, but yeah, just thinking more about what my professional work wardrobe looks like. Final thing that I have on here is thinking of I guess this also links in with that professional wardrobe. So I've put like tailoring in terms of like either a blazer and smart trousers and figuring out what suits me best. yeah, the only trousers that I tend to wear are jeans. I've got some cargo trousers, which, you know, I tend to wear in the summer. But yeah, jeans is my only like trousers really. Like for me, like smart trousers always like has made me sort of feel like I'm back at school, you know, having like black trousers to go with your like school blazer and shirt and tie and whatnot. But you know, I feel like there's a lot more trouser styles around. I don't really know what suits me, so I think probably this might horrifyingly involve like going shopping, but window shopping, to like try on some things and see like how I feel about how they look on me, just to figure out what suits me best. Do I want like wide leg trousers? Do I want a more sort of like cigarette trouser, kind of tapered, that kind of thing? Yeah, I think I just need to work it out, because yeah, for a long time, yeah, having past being at school, having a pair of like smart black trousers has been like, they're the trousers that you wear to an interview or to a funeral, and I don't actually have any in my wardrobe at the moment. So yeah, I think that is like understanding what I would like out of a pair of trousers that isn't jeans. So that might take a bit of work, and yeah, trying some stuff on, seeing what works. Sometimes if I'm considering like a style that's a bit different for me, I do end up buying something ready to wear that's in that style, just to see like if I do actually get wear out of it. Because obviously, you know, if you're sewing, by the time you've bought a pattern, you've bought fabric, like that can be almost the same amount of money as like buying an item of clothing, depending on where you're shopping. But then at least if you bought the clothing, you know, there's been a couple of things that I've bought and yeah, I just haven't reached for, and I've sold them, you know, on Vinted, and I feel like it's a lot trickier to do that with like handmade stuff. And I think that is it. I do have a few more things on here that are less sewing, more general, you know, in terms of like life stuff, which I don't think you want to hear about. Some of it involves cleaning and decluttering, which I think everyone loves to do in January, and one thing and another. But yeah, those are some of my aspirations that, yeah, I hope the items that I've picked in Make 9 kind of fit together with well, and yeah, give me something to work towards, yeah, in terms of overall the kind of wardrobe that I want to have. Like I have been waffling on for quite some time. Hopefully I can cull this video down and cut out some of the waffle, so you're not here forever. But yeah, that is my Make 9 and sewing aspirations for 2025. I hope it was interesting. I'd love to know what is on your Make 9 lists, or what are your things that you want to maybe improve about your sewing, or new skills that you want to learn, new techniques, different things that you want to try that you maybe haven't before. Yeah, I'd really love to hear that in the comments. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will be back later on in the week with a Friday Sews catch up. Hopefully I will have at least started sewing something. I haven't yet. The next non-Friday Sews video I'm planning to film is, yeah, me reviewing what is in my wardrobe, which could be chaos because it's looking pretty chaotic in there. Definitely needs a good going through and sorting out what's in the drawers and one thing and another. It's got a bit wild in there, but yeah, that will be the next thing that I hope to bring to you. If you have enjoyed watching, please do consider giving this video a like and subscribing if you haven't already. Yeah, it'll be lovely to have you continue to be interested in what I am chatting about when it comes to sewing and all things creative. And yeah, I wish everyone good luck with their own Make 9s. I think it's always important that they're like don't end up being a thing for people to like berate themselves over, like if they don't, you know, if they don't make everything. Like I think You know, it can help you even if you look back at it at the end of the year and realise, like, you know, how much you didn't make, and then think about, like, why. Like, was it an unrealistic goal? Is it something that actually, you know, thinking about it, it doesn't fit with your like lifestyle, or sort of clothes that you wear regularly enough to have been like a priority for you? So I think you can always learn something. But yeah, I never want it to be a sort of thing where it's like, oh, I'm a failure if if you only made like one or two things off of there, like that you've failed at sewing for that year. I think they can be used in a positive way, whether you actually made the thing or whether you didn't, and they can be a good learning exercise. All right, thanks very much, everyone. Have a great week, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.